What's up guys, my name is Ace and I probably sound a lot different than normal right now, and that's because I finally bought a real microphone. I'm no longer going to be using my Triton AX Pro headset, which is what I've been using since I started YouTube. I'm actually going to be using a real microphone, and it's a Blue Yeti. And I really hope you enjoy the sound quality. I'm pretty sure it'll be much better than I used to have, but I guess we'll have to wait and see once this video is uploaded. And I still have quite a bit of tweaking to do with just the settings and everything, and I just want to see how the videos turn out so far, so it's probably going to take me a few videos, but I'm sure I'll have the settings perfect in no time. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, let's get right into this video. In this video, we're going to be covering the effect that sights have on the SMGs in Black Ops 2. I know in the last sight breakdown video, I said I would do semi-auto and burst assault rifles, but I actually did the testing for those, and there was absolutely no change with any optics attached to any of the guns. Even with select fire, I tried it with everything, and there was no change in recoil. So there's no point in really making a full video about that. I thought I'd just include that in the beginning here. One more quick thing to point out at the beginning here, the Chicom wasn't affected by any of the sights, even with select fire on. I tested with select fire, without select fire, and either way it wasn't affected by sights, so it's not going to be included in this video. So first up, we have the MP7. The only sights that affected the recoil on the MP7 were the Reflex and the millimeter scanner, and the results weren't too significant. The millimeter scanner was a little bit more accurate than the Reflex, but not by too much, and it's just nice to know that because the MP7 does have quite a bit of recoil as is, so it's nice to know that these sights will reduce it a little bit. So moving on to the PDW57, this gun is already really accurate as is, but there was one sight that actually improves that accuracy even more, and that is the millimeter scanner. The recoil result here might look a little bit deceiving. It doesn't look like a really tight grouping, but that's just because the PDW has such a large magazine size. And so there's actually like two small groupings here. The bigger grouping on the bottom was the initial probably about 20 or 30 rounds. They were grouped very tightly, and then it kicked upwards and there was another tight grouping up top. And that's the remainder of the rounds. So you're not going to be firing over 30 rounds at a time, or very rarely will you be doing that, so your accuracy is actually improved quite a bit with this sight. Next up, we have the Vector, and just like with the MP7, the Reflex sight and millimeter scanner both improve the accuracy of this gun. The Reflex sight, the recoil change isn't too noticeable, but it was consistently better. And the millimeter scanner, once again, the results were a little bit deceiving. As you can see highlighted in red here, that small grouping at the bottom represents the first 30 out of the 36 rounds that are in the magazine of the Vector, so that means it's extremely accurate with this sight. For the MSMC, the Reflex sight and the EOTECH sight both reduce recoil by a little bit, but the difference isn't too significant. The millimeter scanner, however, makes this gun extremely accurate, just like the Vector, and I highly recommend that you try it out on this gun. It's awesome. So finally, we have the Skorpion, and this is one of the least accurate SMGs, so it is really nice to know that there is some improvement with this, and that improvement comes with the Reflex sight. As you can see, it's not the most accurate SMG, even with the Reflex sight, but it is an improvement, and it's nice to know. So just like with the previous video, I will sum everything up with a nice chart for you to see here. Once again, the Chicom isn't in there just because there were no effects on it, so I thought it would just be a waste of space to include it into the chart, so just keep that in mind, and yeah, there you go. As you can see, the millimeter scanner is probably the most versatile sight, accuracy-wise. The only gun that it has no effect on is the Skorpion, so it's really good. You can't go wrong using the millimeter scanner on any one of those other guns. Although I highly recommend using it on the MSMC and the Vector, because it makes those guns extremely accurate. The Reflex sight also improved the accuracy of most of the guns, everything but the PDW in this chart. But the difference wasn't nearly as noticeable as the millimeter scanner for the most part, so it is great to use, but it's not always the best to use. So that's all I have for you guys for the effects that different sights have on the SMGs in Black Ops 2. I hope you guys were able to learn something new from this. I know I definitely did when I was doing my testing, so I definitely have changed a few things up with my class setups, and it's really nice to know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys next time.